Looking for a great place for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Try the Harbor Cove Cafe, located in the beautiful Ventura Harbor. This remarkable gem is locally owned and operated and serves a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites, plus a full espresso bar and delightful tropical libations mixed up by our own Dr. Shocker. Visit them online at harborcovecafe.net or give them a call at 805-658-1639. Harbor Cove Cafe, located at 1867 Spinnaker Drive in the Ventura Harbor. With their delicious food and amazing beverages, the Harbor Cove Cafe is Ventura County's hidden treasure. But now you know where to find it.
Rough Edge FM. Irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live on Rough Edge FM. I am R. Scott Bolton, and I have this feeling of deja vu. But we won't talk about that right now. This is the show we talk about show business. Johnny D sitting over there.
Good morning, Scotty B.
Am I right? I got it right that time?
Wait,
yeah.
If I do
that,
this,
you got to do it that way. Now,
okay.
He's actually facing away from me, but the cameras make it look like it's very, very interesting stuff. And then when you get it back to real life, it freaks you out a little bit too. So,
it's like, whoa.
So welcome to this rainy Saturday morning. I'm hoping that the rain is done because the Ventura City Wine Walk is tonight. Johnny's taking us down there to the downtown Ventura, where we will go through several of the fine establishments down there and drink some wine while we do it. So gonna look forward to that if it doesn't rain.
Johnny will not be drinking wine.
No, Johnny. That's why Johnny's driving, because Johnny's not drinking. But anyway, hopefully the rain will stop. It looks like it's already stopped. And they said yesterday it's supposed to only rain this morning and stop by the afternoon. So fingers crossed by the time we get out there, starts at 3, then the rain will be over. So your shirt looks a little bit like wine. I don't know if people out there can see it, but
Oh yes. See,
it's got
that's the color.
It's got a wine color. You said somebody admired it.
Yeah, there was a young lady. I think it was at my credit union, and she I don't know how we got on the subject of wine.
Probably your shirt.
Oh yeah, but she said, oh, "Your shirt reminds me of wine," or something like that. So
I can see that color.
I call this my wine shirt.
Yeah. They do have wine shirts that are actually dyed with like the grapes they make the wines out of. So I mean, maybe it is. Who knows? We're going to start today by talking about the new remake of Roadhouse. It's a remake of the 1989 movie, which starred Patrick Swayze. It was a kind of a cult hit, I think. And I'm going to pull up the IMDb thing right now. But they have recently remade it. Amazon Studios and MGM remade it for Amazon Prime. It was supposed to be in theaters first. There was a lot of controversy about that. I think they should have gone to theaters first. They would have made some, I think it would have made some money, because the first Roadhouse movie is not a very well reviewed movie. I remember when I saw it way back then, and it's been 35 years. I didn't really care for it. I thought it was a little over the top, but it developed a huge cult following. Basically, I think mostly because of Patrick Swayze, who's kind of a legend these days.
That original one did have a really good cast.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that too. But this remake also has an interesting cast. It's Jake Gyllenhaal, or Gyllenhaal, or however you want to say it. He told Conan O'Brien it's Gyllenhaal. So that's how it's apparently properly pronounced. But it's got Jake in it. It has Daniela Melchior, Billy Magnuson, Jessica Williams, Joaquin de Almeida, and also, Lucas Gage, don't want to forget him, and also Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter. Is he a UFC fighter?
Yes.
And he is, it's his first feature film role. So Johnny, go ahead and tell us what you thought about the new Roadhouse.
I quite enjoyed it. I did a lot of action. I've heard on the radio, some people said that some of the fight scenes appear to go too long, but it's Hollywood.
Isn't that why you bought a ticket? I mean,
Exactly.
you want the fight scenes to go on. And I don't remember enough about the original Roadhouse movie to tell you if that it was the same way. I watched the first half hour of it again just last night, but it's been so long since I saw it. It was like watching a whole new movie. But it seems like their fight sequences went on pretty long in that too.
Yeah. But
so
they did pay, in my opinion, they did pay a certain homage to the original. And do you remember with the ladies that were on the table and then this new one?
Yeah, that's in the first half hour, as a matter of fact. Yep.
Well, they did the same thing on the original, but the way they got him off was very politely.
Well, that was one of his rules, at least according to, I don't think they do this in the 2024 version, but in the 1989 version, Patrick Swayze tells his team, you will be nice. But what if they call you this really nasty name? And he goes, you will still be nice. It's not personal. So, well, how do you say calling you that isn't personal? He says, because it's your job. And that was one of his rules. So I don't think they have that conversation in the new one.
No, I didn't.
But he does have, you play by his rules.
Right. And it's just something else that I don't remember being in this new one that was in the original. When he was asked, well, what if they want to fight? Take it outside.
That's the second rule. Yeah. Take it outside.
They did that in the second one.
I don't know.
I can't remember that.
They often did go outside.
Oh yeah.
You could, it was implied without being a rule, but it was definitely implied. So what else did you like about it or not like about it?
The Roadhouse itself, the building was quite interesting. The way
that was a cool building, wasn't it?
Well, the way it was designed, and I thought it was like, did they just take an old church and make a bar out of it?
It does look a lot like the old church that's out by my mom's house that we used when I lived out there. It was the Ventura Christian Church, and it's just a big triangular building. This one in particular, though, had a chunk out of it for like a patio area or something, or just a atrium. I don't know.
I couldn't tell if it was like a skylight where there was plexiglass or glass, whatever, or if it was just open.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I couldn't tell either. But I like you. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was there's a word for it that applies, and that word is ludicrous. Yeah. It is completely and utterly ludicrous. People flying through the air hundreds of feet to land on a roof and then getting down and fighting. Probably doesn't happen in real life, but it's a Joel Silver movie. Joel Silver produced the original one, and Joel Silver produced a lot of those big action movies, the Lethal Weapon movies, just tons and tons of action movies. I actually met with Joel Silver once. Your brother and I pitched a movie to him, and it was pretty freaking intimidating. It was the Dirk Pitt series we were selling at that point. Okay. It was very intimidating because here's this producer at his prime. This was before he had his troubles, and he was pretty intimidating. As a matter of fact, your brother was kind of tongue tied. He turned to me like, "You got to do this." So I had to jump in and finish, but it was interesting. It was very interesting. But anyway, Silver made those kind of movies, and that's what this movie is. He also produced a new one. I'm sure it was part of a deal somewhere that if it gets remade, he gets to be the producer, and he's got producer credit, not executive producer, but producer credit. So if you like his big, splashy, ridiculous action adventure movies, then this one you'll probably like as well. I thought Jake was great.
Yeah.
I have no idea when he got so chiseled.
Oh, that was unbelievable. And I do not think that was computer generated.
It looked real.
He looked.
Yeah, he is chiseled and buff and kind of scary. But as my wife said in the movie, as chiseled and buff as he is, Conor McGregor would wipe the floor with him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was chiseled, really chiseled.
Scary chiseled. Yeah. I thought, and by the way, speaking of Conor McGregor, I didn't know how he would do in a movie, and I'm still not sure how he'll do in any other movie, but boy, is he fun in this movie.
Oh, he was. And some people might say, yeah, his character went way over the top.
Oh, big time.
But that's his character.
Yeah. He was a cartoon character in this. He's like a reverse Popeye. He's got the Popeye build and everything else, but he's not a good guy. He's a bad guy. But I thought his character was great. And then during the end, or is it just before the end, when he's in the hospital, he's not going to stay in that hospital. And twice he's walking around naked, and he has that strut to him. He's walking that badass strut, you know?
And it's not just walking around naked. Out in public, going down it was like not a swap meet, but open air marketplace, and he's naked,
just strutting.
I don't mean naked; he's naked,
butt naked. Yep. And at the end of the movie, he's butt naked too, but he's got a hospital gown on. But it doesn't matter in the back. It don't matter in the back. He was a blast. He was a lot of fun. I thought he was like, I didn't want to say he carried the movie because Jake was really good, but Conor McGregor was a cartoon character that I really enjoyed. And again, can he do it again? Can he create that kind of a character or a different character, more importantly, for another movie? I don't know. But thank goodness he was in this. It was fun.
There was another character in the movie that I really liked. I don't know what his real name is. I'm sure you'll remember him. He was one of the biker guys.
Okay.
And he was the little guy who.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I can't think of what his name is.
I think it's Arturo Castro, who played Mo.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, his character was just like, he was kind of like a Radar O'Reilly from MASH without having the aptitude of being able to tell when helicopters are coming.
He was timid. Unless he had people to back him up, then he was all kind of trying to be badass. Mm-hmm. But then most of the time he's like timid. Like he was a fair weather friend too. Whoever was winning, that's whose side he wanted to be on. So
please don't kill me.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, is it a good movie? It's hard to define. Is it trash? It is trash. Is it fun trash? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So, anyway, what do you remember about the original Roadhouse? I mean, I know you just said there was some homage in there, and then there is. I saw just in the first half hour I watched, because again, I haven't seen it since 1989. I watched the first half hour of it again. It's also on Amazon last night. But what do you remember that differs here? Obviously, Swayze wasn't a UFC fighter, because I'm not sure the UFC was even around back then.
Well, you're probably right. The different types of why the bar was having so much problems. In the original, the guy that controlled pretty much
UFC was around by then, 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
The guy who in the original, the guy who wanted to control the bar, he controlled the distribution of liquor. He wanted his people working at the bar. One of the guys that was working at the bar was palming money into his pocket instead of ringing it up in the register. He got caught at that, and they were trying to force the bar owner to bring him back because he got fired, to bring him back. I was trying to remember the actor that played the bad guy.
Well, let me go through the cast, because it's a pretty impressive cast.
Ben Gazzara was
Ben Gazzara. That's right. Yeah,
he was the head, the guy who ran that county. Or
Ben Gazzara in that cool hat.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Was it a fedora? I wonder. I know fedoras aren't supposed to be cool anymore, but I disagree. They are.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, you think they are too?
No, yeah.
Oh, they must not be then.
No, there's a YouTube show that I watch. It's called The Professor of Rock. He wears a fedora.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
I've got a collection of fedoras, and I wear them. I'm probably going to wear one tonight, as a matter of fact, if it doesn't rain. Some of them are paper. Probably bad to wear a paper hat in the rain.
Here, what you do? You get one of those. Ask your mom or your wife if they've got one of those clear hairnet things that you can put over it.
That would be attractive. That'd be the way to go.
Fedora with a raincoat.
We went over the cast of the first movie, and there's some names there, and some different roles and things like that. And I want to ask you another question too, because I read a couple reviews that I really disagree with. But in the original film, the cast was Patrick Swayze played Dalton. That's the James Gyllenhaal character. Jake Gyllenhaal character. Kelly Lynch, Sam Elliott, Ben Gazzara, Marshall R. Teague, Julie Michaels, Sunshine Parker, Jeff Healey was the band in that one. And that was one thing that I liked in the original more than the new one. Is the new one had some good music, don't get me wrong, but there are bands I didn't really know. Right. And none of the bands are Jeff Healey band. Jeff Healey was a legend for a reason. So Kevin Teague Kevin Teague actually went to the church that my wife went to out here in Ventura.
Really?
And he was in it, and of course Ben Gazzara, as I said, is that you just watch it just because Ben Gazzara is in it. Julie Michaels was beautiful. She was like scary beautiful in that movie. I don't know what she ever did after that. Do you remember her from anything else?
The face looks very familiar. I just don't know.
Roadhouse, Point Break, Chick Fight, Last Rites. She's done a lot of stuff. So
Point Break, wasn't that
as recently as 2020?
Wasn't Point Break also a Swayze movie?
It was, and I wonder if it was a Joel Silver production. Don't know. Catherine Bigelow directed. Oh, that's the. Is that the original? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Interesting. Keanu Reeves and Gary Busey. Another movie they got a remake that people didn't like so much, but they love Point Break. Didn't do great when it first was released. I'm sure that the Rotten Tomatoes score is probably pretty low.
Well,
and
one of the bad things, if you don't mind me saying this, one of the bad things that people kept, not really bad, that people kept harping on was when Keanu Reeves says, "I am an FBI agent." And of course, he didn't really say it that way, but that's how comedians, night talk show hosts.
Well, Keanu, here's the thing. Keanu has a way of delivery that sometimes seems odd. Do you think he cares?
Nope.
Look at him. Yeah, he's so successful. It's not even funny. And I happen to love that character that he plays. That, even when he does, that's what makes the John Wick movies so good. They're all, you see him getting all prepared, loading up all these guns, loading all these things. And somebody comes in and says, "John, are you ready?" And Keanu turns to the camera and goes, "Yeah." That's just, yeah. That's it's perfect, So they did that with the Dracula movie too. They hated him in that.
Yeah. Which I really liked that movie.
I need to see it again. I'd forgotten that it was a Francis Ford Coppola film. It's like,
and
I got to see it again.
The actor that played the Count,
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, he was great.
Gary Oldman's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
He is an amazing actor.
Can I add something to the original cast?
Yeah. Did I miss somebody?
Connection to Elvis.
Mama Baby? Red West?
Red West.
I didn't recognize that name. What was Red West in Elvis's band, or?
He was, I think he was in the band, but he was a very personal type person. Like, I can't remember if he was like one of his heavies, or he was part of his taking care of business group.
His name in the movie was Red Webster. So they didn't go too far. But maybe that role was written expressly for him. I will watch the rest of the original movie. I want to see it again and compare notes. But they're just based on the first 30 minutes of the 1989 version. They're both ludicrous films. They're just silly as all get out, but they're fun.
Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to be having fun for it. So one of the reviews I read was actually from Julie here at on the Friday Shot Day show. And she said, let me see if I can find it here, folks. She said, "For your information, the new Roadhouse movie sucks. Terrible acting, makes no sense, and is way too long for a big steaming pile of it is."
I got
so she didn't like it. She thought the fight scenes were too long, and she thought the acting was terrible. And you know what? I don't think Jake was terrible. Maybe Connor was, but if so, he nailed it. For all I know, he wasn't acting. For all I know, that was Conor McGregor there. But I got to give him points, man. I really enjoyed that part. The other review I read about it, and this one I didn't even understand. The guy was furious that he watched it, and he was mad because he said it was too woke.
What
is this guy talking about? How could a movie that violent and that full of profanity and what have you be woke? Is it because the bar owner's female now? Does that make a movie woke now? I mean, what the hell?
I didn't get that at all.
I was stunned when I saw that because I'd already watched it and I'm going, what is this guy talking about? I got no clue. I
wonder if he actually watched it.
I don't know. I just don't even. Now, is this movie tamer in certain ways? It is. If you watch the original movie, there's some really, really strong and almost iffy, kind of makes you squirm. What's the word? I'm not abusive women, but use of women in a wrong way. I mean, camera shots of just boobs going by, and it's the word's titillating. Don't laugh. That's the right word for it. And they did that back then, those, movies, but movies have grown up a little bit. So you're not, I mean, you still have room for movies like Porky's and things like that, but they've grown up a little bit. So that's not doesn't make it woke either. I didn't understand that review at all. Completely beside myself on that one.
I wonder if this person knows what the definition of woke really means.
I think they probably think everything that's got a woman in it is woke. That's the only guess I can think of, because the bar owner was originally Kevin Teague, and now it is because she's terrific too. I like her a lot. It is Jessica Williams,
and
who's in the new show with Harrison Ford.
Her character inherits the bar from her father.
Yeah, I mean it works.
Yeah,
if that's your definition, then you don't watch anything. Yeah. Just don't watch anything anymore. I didn't get that review at all. But anyway, I get Julie's point, and that some other people have said the fight scenes go on too long. They're supposed to. It's a stupid action movie, and it is a stupid action movie, just like the first one's a stupid action movie. But I'm okay with that, because you know what? I love stupid action movies. I'm all for it. I'll watch movies like Crank, which may be to this day the highlight of the stupid action movies, but
especially Crank 2.
The end of Crank 1 and the beginning of Crank 2. At the end of Crank 1, Jason Statham's killed everybody who's messed with him. He's falling from a helicopter towards Los Angeles. And as he's falling, he pulls out his cell phone and he calls his girlfriend and he tells her, what? Honey, I'm sorry. I've screwed up again. And then splat, he hits the sidewalk. End of the movie. Part 2 opens up exactly where part 1 ended. Splat in the middle of the streets of New York. Of Los Angeles. I think it's Los Angeles. It was LA, right?
I believe so.
And this van pulls up, and these Asians get out with a snow shovel, scrape him off of the and then tuck him in the back of a van. It's like, yeah, here's another $10 for that movie.
I gotta tell you, when they were, it's like the middle of summer, and they got the snow shovel.
Well, they're still available in LA. They got a snow shovel in the middle of summer in LA.
Yeah.
But, they might need to scrape up Jason Statham somewhere. But God, I love that movie. I love both of those movies. They're just, and it's sad because the second one made less money than the first one. And somebody asked Jason Statham, they said, do you think there'll be a Crank 3? And he goes, in my experience, they typically don't make sequels that don't do as well as the first one. Yeah, he's right, unfortunately. So that's too bad, because the Crank movies were just a total blast. I'm just thankful that Jason Statham's still out there and the biggest star as he is, because Beekeeper, you saw Beekeeper, didn't you?
Yes.
Beekeeper's, and it just keeps rolling. Beekeeper's doing really well. So anyway, that's over reviews of the Roadhouse movie. Both of us liked it. Both of us realized it was ludicrous. I think you'd agree, but it's a good time. It's fun. And Conor McGregor, I don't want to say he steals the movie, but he comes close. He comes close.
I would say the scenes that he was in, the majority of the scenes he was in, he stole the show. He stole the scene.
He did. Yeah, he just,
especially the very last scene he's in.
Well, that's all his scene. And I also like again, incredibly stupid. They're fighting and they go to the piano, and Connor's banging Jake Gyllenhaal's head against the piano. And it's going blang, blang, blang. And Jake pulls his head up and he goes, this piano's out of tune. And Connor goes, I like it.
That's a Deadpool thing.
It just was very funny. So anyway, everybody's gonna have their different opinion about it, and check it out. If you like the original, here's the problem. If you like the original, you may not like the remake because it's so different. If you like the original, you might like this one because it's so much the same. Because there's differences and sameness between both of them. But I enjoyed it. Again, maybe I'm not the right person to take advice from, because I like these big, stupid action movies. I draw the line at Fast and Furious, because they just pushing a submarine torpedo into your enemy while it's riding the top of the snow just a little bit overdoes it. Now, this guy getting thrown 100 feet onto a thatched roof and surviving, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, that
was it. It was a thatched roof, so he had a soft landing.
Yeah, maybe that was it. That's, you got to hope.
Until, didn't he fall on the boat?
I think he rolled down into the boat that was, who knows? Interesting thing though, Roadhouse, the original 1989 had 41% good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. The new Roadhouse has 63% good reviews. So the new Roadhouse has better reviews than the original Roadhouse did. So anyway, I enjoyed it.
But you did say something earlier, and I totally agree with you about it being released to theaters first. I totally agree. It would have. I really believe it would have made a ton of money.
I think it would have. I think that the original there's a argument to be had here too, though. The original Roadhouse became such a cult classic that I think people remember it being better than it actually was. And that's okay. That happens, you know. And I think that people were yearning for a repeat of it. I think it was one of those things that was anticipated. So I think people would have gone to the theater and seen it. I also understand Amazon's thinking, because what is Amazon's job? Is it to put people in theaters? It's not. It's to get new subscribers. So I understand their thinking as well. It's, I think, unfortunate that any movie skips the big screen, because every movie's better on the big screen. Even if it's just a documentary, it's better on the big screen. And this would have been better on the big screen. But I also get their business point. Their job is to get new subscribers. So maybe it's disappointing for the filmmakers. They were all upset because it didn't get a theatrical run, but Amazon might be very happy with it because they got 100,000 new subscribers who didn't subscribe before because they wanted to see Roadhouse.
Now, I did hear on the radio yesterday or late last night, they were talking, the guys were talking about the new one. And one of them said, and this is something I've mentioned many times, long time ago. He said that if you're going to remake a movie, remake a bad movie. Now, I don't consider the original Roadhouse a bad movie.
Critics did 41%,
but I did like both versions. But I understand what he means by don't take a good movie and remake it. It's like, it would be terrible if they remade To Kill a Mockingbird today, because that movie is great by itself. So if you want to remake a movie, take a bad movie that didn't do well and make it better.
That's an interesting point. I get that point. I mean, I don't know if I agree with it either, but it's, it's hard not to remake movies, because especially if you're a filmmaker, you want to, again, pay homage to the filmmakers that maybe inspired you. I mean, as far as I'm aware, Psycho has been made 3 times. Once by Hitchcock, not remade by Hitchcock, the original by Hitchcock. Then another one that was, I can't remember the director. I want to say Gus Van Sant, but I don't know if that's true. We did a shot-by-shot remake with Vince Vaughn. And then a third time that you can find on YouTube by the Psycho filmmakers who made a very twisted, bizarre punk rock version of it. But it's hard not. I get why people want to do remakes. I also get why sometimes they don't work, because even if the first film's a bad film, there's some magic about it that made you want to remake it, right?
Exactly.
So I don't know. So anyway, Godzilla X Kong, because that's what this says, even though I believe it's Godzilla Kong. Remember that anime buddy of mine, Devin, who does the anime and alcohol show on Sundays here, says the X is just a placeholder in anime. So I'm thinking it's just a placeholder. But Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, is being released. We're going to go see it on Thursday. Josh and I have our tickets in the IMAX, of course. The reviews so far say that it's the Titans that are the stars. Well, that's how it should be when you go see a Godzilla movie. You want to go see it. I found one actual review on the Lufkin Daily News. I don't even know if that's a real website, but let's see what they say about Godzilla Kong. I think, okay, Johnny, look at this. This is interesting. Here's the review for Godzilla Kong, right? What's it say right there? Film review, Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, right? What's it say down here? Nothing. There's no review. It's completely and utterly blank.
Oh, that's funny.
So they're just placeholding for it. So the film hasn't been released by reviewed by critics yet, or there's a moratorium on the reviews till next week, which is probably the case. But one of the stars of the movie made a comment that I hope is 100% correct. He said the difference between this movie and the last movie is this one is more explosive, more full of action, and he used these exact words. It's like going to a Kiss concert. Thought, oh, you got me in those words, dude. So,
you're there. You're there.
Yeah. Let's see. There's another one here that says it's a review. There's an actual review. And again, not a review. So we'll leave that alone then. So anyway, looking forward to it. We'll talk about Godzilla Kong next weekend. I'm very excited about it because I like Godzilla. I like the goofy Godzilla. I like the serious Godzilla. Godzilla -1, which was the last one that was released and won the award for
Mhm.
best special effects, is a great movie on any level. It's on any level. You don't say great Godzilla movie. It's a great movie. The other ones are just fun. Dinosaurs jumping around punching apes.
What was the movie, the Kong movie that, oh yeah, I hate it when I do this.
Not as much as I do.
I know it. I can't even remember what his character was.
No.
Samuel L. Jackson. Which Kong?
Oh, that
movie
was
he in?
Kong Skull Island, wasn't it?
Oh, Skull Island.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was a good one.
I missed that one.
That was you got to see it.
Actually, I missed that one, and I
It's
missed
really-
the last one.
It's really good. And I have more giant ape news. This is very exciting as well. On Friday, April 5th, I believe it is. I'm trying to find a calendar here, but I don't have one. Not that it matters, but just assume that Friday is April 5th. I am going to the world premiere of a movie in Hollywood. The movie is called Ape versus Mecha Ape. And my son's fiance, her best friend, is I believe dating or maybe married to the filmmaker. And so they've invited us down because they know that Josh and I are huge Godzilla fans to check out Ape versus Giant Ape on the big screen. I'm sorry, Ape versus Mecha Ape on the big screen in Hollywood, April 5th. So it's my first world premiere that I've been invited to. I've never been invited to a world premiere before. I've been on the sidelines. You know, I was at the Batman world premiere when Michael Keaton's film, but I wasn't invited in. But this time I'm going to walk the red carpet, dude.
Nice.
I'm gonna have,
You gonna wear a tux?
Slobby old man. Hell no.
Oh,
This is my tux.
Yeah, no, I was going to say you should get a pullover shirt that looks like a tux,
Nah, tacky.
and on the back it says Army of Darkness.
That might be a good idea. I got to find out what I'm supposed to wear. I don't think it's going to be. I'm not wearing a tux.
And this,
I don't wear it. When I retired, no more ties.
And this new, what is it called again?
Ape versus Mecha Ape.
And it's one of the. I'm doing notes.
It's going to be one of those sci-fi type movies like Sharknado, you know. But I'm okay with that. I'm actually very much looking
Mega
forward
Ape.
To it.
Mecha,
Mecha, like mechanical. Finally, I wanted to talk about, because we are out of time today, folks, but I wanted to talk about Dune 2. Oh boy, I almost screwed up. I almost just lost us. Almost turned off the screen without going there. Dune Part 2 is still the #1 movie in America. Thursday, it grossed $2.1 million. And I do have to take that back. This weekend, the #1 movie is Ghostbusters. But anyway, Dune Part 2, with a $190 million budget, has now grossed $514 million. So it is a bona fide hit. It's very interesting because the filmmaker, Denis Villeneuve, he doesn't want to do another Dune movie too soon.
Mm-hmm.
What does the studio want? Give us another Dune movie. We want Dune. But he says he's got one project that he cannot talk about in the works. And I'm wondering if it's James Bond. And we should talk about that too, as a matter of fact. And then he's got something else he wants to do before he can go Dune 2. Now there's 12 years difference between the end of this Dune series and the beginning of the next Dune saga that he's going to tell. So maybe he wants to give the actor some time to season, you know, but the studio doesn't want that. They want it now because Dune's hot, obviously.
Dune 2 is still showing at our corner theater, which is the Regency Ventura, the Buenaventura Sixplex, or the Buenaventura 6, which is playing Regency.
Yeah, a lot of that's where you saw, right?
Yep, I quite enjoyed it.
The other news coming out this week is that it looks like, and this is so far as I can tell, it's all just rumors, but it's kind of taken things by storm. Is that they have formally offered the James Bond role to an actor. Aaron Taylor Johnson, this is his picture here, Johnny, is purportedly the new James Bond. He was in Bullet Train, and he was terrific in Bullet Train. So if you watch Bullet Train, you can see that, and you can see, okay, well, he must have the chops. He's got the upcoming Marvel movie, Kraven the Hunter, which I don't know how that's going to do. Do you know the Marvel character, Kraven the Hunter?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. But I mean, maybe it'll be a great movie and maybe it'll do well, but I just don't know how that's going to go. But anyway, the rumor is that he has formally been offered the role. He hasn't commented. The Broccoli family, the producers haven't commented. So we don't know this is true or not, but I think he'd be a good choice. I think he could pull it off. So we will see what happens for that. But
You know what surprises me? And I can't, his name, Aaron Taylor
Johnson.
There is a hyphen
Yes.
in between Taylor. Now, I've seen that with females, but I cannot remember ever seeing it on a male.
Let's see if we can find out. I don't know. His wife's name is Sam Taylor Johnson. They have 2 daughters. I tried to find out why there was a hyphen there, but I don't. But it's probably family history thing.
Or maybe it's a combination of both of her maiden name and his, and they did it that way. Well, it's like John Lennon. He took, I think he changed his middle name to John Ono Lennon. So maybe that was
some people do that.
like
No, I'm aware of that. Yeah. Here's a picture of Aaron without his facial hair.
Quite young.
It's an old picture. It's 12 years old. No, it's 15 years old. But you can see, he's got the look. Plus he's good. So I'm kind of excited about that. I think that might be all right.
Well, when you showed that first picture of him, I was envisioning him with the shorter hair. And he's got the looks. Hopefully he has the chops. He's
got the chops. If you watch Bullet Train, you'll see he's got the chops. And Craven the Hunter's not out till August 30th. So we'll find out more about that. And here's what he says about the offer. I can only really talk about things I'm going to show and tell. So the Fall Guy, Nosferatu, Craven the Hunter, I'm here to promote those. He would not talk about the Bond role. So I did not realize he was in Fall Guy, which by the way is getting rave advanced reviews.
I'm really looking forward to that. I was a big fan of the TV series, which by the way, that TV series, believe it's on Amazon Prime Video.
Oh, really?
Well, it's either that or Netflix, one or the other.
Oh, one more thing, and then we got to get out of here because we're running late already. I wanted to tell this. John's got something else too.
Yes, I do have one more thing.
But they're going to do a Sneaky Blinders movie.
Ooh.
And Gillian is going to be in it.
Nice.
Killian, not Gillian. Killian's going to be in it. So that's interesting news. What you got?
Wait a minute. What did you call that series?
Peaky Blinders. Am I close?
Sounded like you said Sneaky Blunders.
I may have. You don't know.
No, that's true too.
Peaky Blinders.
No, but that's not what I wanted to say.
Is it Peaky Blinders?
God, I'm not sure now.
I think so. Yes.
Yes.
Peaky Blinders or Sneaky Binders. You can have your choice. Anyway, Cillian Murphy will be returning, so that's good news. All right, quick.
Is the Sneaky Blinders?
Yeah.
Is that based on a book or a series of books?
The time to ask me is when I have it pulled up, which I no longer do.
Well, that's one thing I do like about the James Bond movies. James Bond is based on the James Bond books.
Kind of.
And
I typed Sneaky Blinders, so I'm pretty sure I said
it. So what I wanted to say was I love books. And if you love books too, and you love fantasy,
I know where this is going.
You love sci-fi, you like drama, you like spooky stuff, go to Amazon.com, look up R. Scott Bolton author, and you will find a plethora list of R. Scott Bolton books, which are available. The latest is Death and the Mogul. That's the latest release. My favorite of that entire list is Dead Dick, but all these books are fantastic. Now,
Joel Silver should call me about Dead Dick.
Yeah.
He would be a good producer for that.
So
write that down, Joel.
Check out R. Scott Bolton books on Amazon.com. You will love them.
I hope John's right. It looks like there are Peaky Blinders books, but I'm not sure that they're based on the book or if the books are based on the series.
I can remember a book that was based on a film. And I believe that was right, because when I saw the movie first and then I read the book and I'm going, I started looking at things. Oh, this book came out after the movie, and that was a Clint Eastwood movie, the one where he steals the Russian super plane.
Oh, Firefox.
Yeah,
I think Firefox was not.
Was it Firefox or Foxfire?
I think it's Firefox, and I think it was a book first.
But I enjoyed that movie. Again, it was a little ludicrous.
Yes, it was, and the effects didn't help that movie either. Firefox, Craig Thomas book. Yeah, I think that the movie is based on the book. Because Craig Thomas has written a number of books that have been turned into movies.
Okay.
So I think that's one of them. But yeah, that movie had terrible special effects. That didn't help it at all. Look there's Firefox Down.
Yeah.
Sequel. Looks like some of his books are out of print, which is very sad because he's a pretty great author.
If you're interested in any of these books, go to a bookstore. The same thing with R. Scott Bolton books. If you go to used bookstores, you might even find them in a thrift shop.
I found mine in a thrift store. That was pretty awesome.
So, like I said earlier, you like to read, Amazon.com. If you got Amazon Prime, you're going to get free delivery on most things that you buy.
And you can now watch Roadhouse.
Right.
You get Amazon Prime. All right, folks. So we will see you next week. Thanks again for listening to the Backseat Mogul Show. What are we going to talk about next week? Oh, Godzilla Kong. Mm-hmm. Godzilla Kong next week.
You know what else I might watch between now and next week?
Jaws Revenge?
No, I saw that a long time ago. Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire.
If you go, text me, because that's one that Shelley won't go to. But if you go, let me know, because I may join you.
Well, it's showing now at our corner theater.
Yeah, I'm aware. So
you started yesterday.
Yeah, so let me know. I may join you there. Okay. All right, folks, thanks for listening. As always, we're going to close out, as we always do, with our friends at The Grape. The Grape is Ventura County's premier, pristine jazz and spirits bar and club. They have some of the best cocktails in the land, all craft made. They mix them up there right in front of you, and they take their time and they make them properly. Also, they have some of the best jazz in the county, if not the best jazz. Plus, they also do comedy shows sometimes, and now they have magic shows there as well. The Grape is on out on Main Street, isn't it, Johnny? Out on Main Street?
Main Street, right next door to
Yolanda's. Mm-hmm. So you can get dinner at Yolanda's. You could also get something to eat at the Grape. They have a deal with the Ventura Sandwich Company, and they make some of the best sandwiches. You know, the best pastrami sandwich I ever had was at that Ventura Sandwich Company.
I've picked up from there many times.
It is so good. It is very good. So
they got good food.
They do. Absolutely. All right. So
I like that walk-up window they have.
Oh yeah. That's what was smart. They did that for COVID.
Well, you can still walk in the
it's
door
still there.
too.
It's smart. Yeah. All right, folks. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.